Good morning, Zio here, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should go ahead and do so now. Like the video and share it out to everybody else out there because I said so. That's it. That's all we got today. Alright? So, with all of that, you might want to double check your Steam, or at least Valve games anyway. You might want to think before you play multiplayer. How's that? Well, let's get into it, shall we? To be totally honest, this video is probably going to be somewhat short. There's really not a whole lot to say here, but apparently Valve's source code for CSGO and Team Fortress 2 have been leaked. And, well, everything was abuzz about it yesterday when it happened. I'm recording this, the following day because that's just how my life is. I was at work when everything was going down. However, here's the deal. The source code has been leaked. There could be issues out there. However, in my opinion, it's not that big of a deal. Now, don't take that meaning that I'm saying you don't need to worry about anything, because naturally, it's the internet. You need to always be worried about something. You should always have things like two-factor authentication, whatever things like maybe this. Authenticators, pins, that sort of thing. Anything that can be able to use to help secure your account, you should do it. Multiple, passwords, things like that. Good passwords, of course, not your pet's name, among other things. So that is something you should always do regardless. But the main reason I say it's probably not that big of a concern, although I would probably just stay off some Valve multiplayer games just in case. It's the fact that it is an old source code. It's about a good 2-3 years old at this point, and the game has gone through, a lot of these games, or these two games, have had updates since then that patch a lot of different things in and out, and have had changes to the code since, it was released. But apparently it's an older code from back in 2017, and it may not be as concerning as one would think right off the bat. Now, if you're running, say, a server that is based off said code, then yeah, that's something you should probably shut down right now. But if you're running, off of Valve stuff and things like that, it's probably not as much as a concern. I'm not trying to downplay this, because this is something that naturally we need to know. And I guess I'm having an issue trying to figure out when this code was officially actually leaked, because I have found sources that said that this code leaked in 2018, right? And I think the one that we're looking at might actually mention that. So in the grand scheme of things, the code has already been out there for over 2 years at this point. It's what, 2020? 18 was 2 years ago, and it's a code from 2017, which is about 3 years ago. The vulnerabilities and stuff have already been out there and in the hands of hackers, if that's the case. So chances are, if you were compromised, you've already been compromised, and there's little you can do about it at this point in time. But we're going to go ahead and look at this real quick. But apparently reported source code leaked from Valve's Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Team Fortress 2 went widely public Wednesday, leading to serious concerns from players that those games would be vulnerable to cheats and exploits. The Team Fortress 2 community worries are more serious security risks, leading players to recommend that others not play the game at all due to the risk of spreading viruses and malware, and community creators shut down their servers amidst fear of remote-controlled execution exploits, and moderators of Team Fortress 2 subreddit warned of possible vulnerabilities in players' in-game items. But Valve also said that the leaked code dates back to 2017 and was previously leaked in 2018. That's what I was talking about. Anyway, the company also says it has not found any reason for players to be alarmed or avoid the current builds of games like CSGO and Team Fortress 2. And Valve has a statement. We have received the leak code and believe it to be a reposting of a limited CSGO engine code depot released to partners in the late 2017s and originally leaked in 2018. From this review, we have not found any reason for players to be alarmed or avoid the current builds. As always, playing on the official servers is recommended for greatest security, and we will continue to investigate the situation and will update news outlets and players if we find anything to prove otherwise. In the meantime, if anyone has more information about the leak, the Valve security page describes the best way to report the information. But yeah, so we also, of course, got this from the CSGO Twitter. We have received the leak code and believe to be reposting of a CSGO engine code depot released. Same thing, right? Same thing. But yeah, it is the internet, of course, and security is something that you should definitely take seriously, right? You definitely should take security top notch. And I feel like I need another shower after working on that toilet. Sorry, unrelated, but I just looked at myself and I'm like, yeah, I need to go and take another shower before work. But yeah, security is something you definitely need to take seriously. There we go. Finding the words. But yeah, you know, use double authentications, get pins, passwords, anything and everything that's available to you, and set up your security in that way. As for this being a really big issue, honestly, I'm going to lean on it's a nothing. It really is nothing at this point in time. I know everybody was making a fuss about it, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but chances are, since it's been out in the wild for at least 2 years at this point, any damage has already been done, and you just didn't know about it, to be totally honest. Or maybe because now that it's known, somebody's going to take that as some kind of, well, now's my chance to really do some damage real quick and then try and do something, which is always possible too. Of course, the best course of action you could do is just not access it. Don't play the game for a bit. Just shut down Steam altogether for about a week, which goes 90% of my library. So, or 95 or 97. Most of my game library is now no longer open on my PC, just in case. Because, you know, I still take my security pretty seriously as well. And if there's a problem with something in Valve, you know, games, it could translate to the Valve platform itself at some point in time, depending on how things go. So yeah, I've just pretty much shut down Steam for the time being. But of course, you can do what you want. If you want to play, go play. If not, then you know, don't. But as for this being this giant thing that requires, I mean, it will of course have immediate attention from Valve, trying to fix whatever possible issues there might be and throw it out there in a patch and stuff for these games, of course. But as for something to really get super worried about, if it was 2018, panic. It's now 2020. There's no real need to panic at this point. Just, you know, be mindful of things. And of course, if you're running like a server or whatnot, you know, one of the Team Fortress 2 servers or something like that, you know, for you and friends and other people or whatever, you know, and it's running 2017 source code, then yeah, I would probably shut that down too, because they're probably, if anyone who has this might actually be targeting you at that point, just due to the fact that they know you got it. Or looking for somebody who has it anyway, so they can get access to some players' informations and other stuff. But yeah, as at the end of the day, this really isn't as big of an issue as everybody's making it out to be, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, I guess fortunately is the correct term to put. But of course, anything could happen. You know, be safe, be smart, and that's pretty much all I've got on that. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. and I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.